Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get a handle on the really fast pace of AI. We cut through the noise, sift through the buzz from the last 24 hours, and bring you what you actually need to know.
Exactly. And today we're looking at some pretty fundamental shifts, things that go way beyond just tech specs. We're talking impacts on business, talent, even how we define intelligence itself. It's about where AI is really heading.
Right. So let's kick things off with something that feels like a genuine landmark moment. AI models hitting gold medal performance at the International Mathematical Olympiad, the IMO, for the first time ever.
It's huge. I mean, remember last year, DeepMind's models solved 4 out of 6 problems, which was impressive, sure.
Yeah, but it took them like over 60 hours, right?
Yeah.
Way more than the human time limit.
Precisely. Humans get 4.5 hours, and this year, boom. Both OpenAI with an experimental model, mind you, and DeepMind, using an advanced Gemini Deep Think, solved 5 out of 6. And crucially, within that 4.5-hour window, this basically settles that AI bet from Paul Cristiano a few years back. He put the odds at less than 4% in early 2022. So, yeah, bet settled.
And the really interesting part, for me anyway, is how they did it. No special math tools like Lean. No internet access.
Right. It was pure reasoning, just happening inside the model's weights. They call it search in token space.
Which basically means the AI figured it out from its own internal knowledge, its training data patterns.
Exactly. Alexander Way, one of the researchers, stressed it wasn't some narrow specific trick. It was breakthroughs in general RL and how they scale compute during the test itself.
Yeah, and Jerry Tork added they did very little IMO-specific training. Just kept improving general models.
Yeah, just general models, natural language proofs, no special valuation setup. It points to a much broader capability.
So what was the reaction like? Must have been big.
Oh, yeah. Sebastian Bubeck called it a moon landing moment. I mean, think about it. A next word predictor coming up with genuinely creative mathematical proofs.
That is pretty mind-blowing.
But there was a little bit of drama, too. OpenAI apparently announced their results before the IMO organizers wanted them to. The request was to wait a week, let the human participants have their moment.
Ah, okay. And DeepMind?
DeepMind apparently held off, waited for the official word, seen as a bit more maybe respectful. And, these medals are decided by tiny margins, 1 point off, and gold becomes silver.
Right. Still, 5 out of 6 is huge, but not quite perfect.
Not quite. That last problem, P6, combinatorics, notoriously tricky. Turns out 26 human competitors actually did better than the AI on that one, so human ingenuity still has an edge there.
So where does this leave the whole AGI bar debate if AI cracks IMO math?
Yeah, it definitely stirs the pot again. Some people, like Jim Fan, are saying, hold on, maybe a physical Turing test is harder. Like, can an AI cook dinner in any kitchen?
Ah, Moravec's paradox. The idea that stuff easy for us, like moving around or picking things up, is super hard for AI, but complex abstract stuff like math
can be easier for AI. So the insight for you, listening, is AI is taking massive leaps in abstract reasoning, but general intelligence, especially interacting fluidly with the physical world, still big hurdles there. Plan for the analytical power, but maybe don't expect an AI chef just yet.
Okay, and that IMO story is definitely a big one for reasoning. But what about the models themselves? Let's shift gears to new releases. Alibaba's Qwen 3 235B A22B. What's the deal with this one?
Well, what's catching everyone's eye is that it's labeled a non-reasoning model, but the benchmarks are showing it significantly improving, even beating established reasoning models like Kimi-K2, Claude Opus, DeepSeek V3 on some tough tests.
Wait, a non-reasoning model beating reasoning models on reasoning benchmarks? How does that work?
It sounds counterintuitive, right? But it points to incredible efficiency. Architecturally, it's way smaller than something like Kimi-2, 4.25 times smaller overall. Fewer active parameters, too, 22 billion versus Kimi's 32 billion.
And it uses fewer experts in its MoE layers. What are those again?
Right. MoE is mixture of experts. Think of them as little specialized subnetworks inside the larger model. Qwen 3 uses 128 per layer. Kimi uses 384. By using fewer, more focused experts, it's incredibly efficient, only activating the parts it needs.
Plus it has a huge native context window, right? 262,000 tokens.
Exactly. It can handle really long inputs without needing extra tricks.
And the Qwen team changed strategy. Separate instruct and thinking models now.
Yeah, based on feedback, apparently. There was some confusion before about which mode was being benchmarked. This new one, the 235B, is purely focused on following instructions, the instruct side.
So is this like a genuine new direction or just smart optimization?
Good question. I think the key takeaway for you is this push towards efficiency. Smarter designs mean powerful AI could become cheaper, run on less demanding hardware. It's about democratizing access.
And this fits into a bigger picture, right?
Right.
Kimi-K2's tech report just came out too.
It did, detailing their 1 trillion parameter model. And early reports, telemetry data, suggest it might actually be beating Gemini on real-world stuff, not just benchmarks.
And the GPT-5 rumors. Not one model, but a system.
Yeah, the idea floating around is a router system switching between different specialized models for reasoning, non-reasoning, tool use, whatever's needed.
Which brings up that debate. Do users want an automatic router, or would they rather pick the specific model variant themselves to guarantee performance?
Exactly. It's a question of control versus convenience. How much fine-tuning do you want versus just letting the system figure it out?
Okay, so models are getting smarter, more efficient. Now let's talk about what they're doing. This shift towards AI agents actually performing tasks, not just answering questions.
Right. This is where things get really practical. Look at Perplexity launching Comet. It's not just search anymore. It's an end-to-end research workflow.
That generative UI thing sounds cool. Creating interactive cards for actions like email or calendar invites.
Yeah, it really shifts Perplexity from ask anything towards do anything. And the adoption's been crazy fast. Apparently its browser page is outranking Wikipedia's Comet page on Google already.
Wow, that's serious traction.
It shows a real hunger for AI that doesn't just talk, but acts.
We're also seeing interesting moves in open source, like that company Qwen, open sourcing their coding assistant.
Yeah, and their whole angle is not reselling inference. They argue it aligns them better with the user. They want the user to have the most capable tool since they aren't profiting from usage fees.
Interesting model.
And on the dev side, tools are popping up everywhere, like Gut, an AI agent for Git.
Translates natural language into Git commands, super handy. And LMS.txt is gaining ground. It's in the Gemini API docs now, helping make documentation easier for models to understand.
LangChain's moving towards V1.0 too, right? Focusing on agent architectures.
Yep, revamping docs, building on LangGraph for more general agent setups. And OpenAI just rolled out its ChatGPT agent more broadly. Pro plus Teams users.
Letting it control your computer, browse code, make slides, pretty much. Edit spreadsheets, generate images. Meanwhile, Mistral's LeChat got upgrades too. Deep research reports. A new voice model called Voxtral, better multilingual reasoning, even in-chat image editing.
In Kimi-K2, generating a whole physics sandbox from a prompt?
Yeah, it's like these agents are becoming Swiss Army knives. The future feels less like chatbots and more like capable digital assistants.
Okay, so agents are getting more capable, doing more things, which naturally leads us to how do we run these things, especially the bigger, more powerful models? Let's talk local LLMs and the hardware revolution.
This is super important for accessibility. Rockchip just showed off their RK1A2X LLM coprocessor. The numbers are pretty wild.
Give us the highlights.
Okay, so over 2,000 tokens per second prefill, 120 tokens per second decode for 7 billion parameter models. That's models like Qwen 2.5 or DeepSeek R1. And this is using INT4 FP4 precision.
Which means basically super compressed numbers for speed and efficiency.
Exactly. It's like an 8 to 10 times speed boost compared to older MPU's neural processing units. Plus, it has decent chunks of really fast memory built in.
And they have a new mobile chip, too.
Yeah, the RK3668 SoC brings ARM v9.3, a 16 TTOPS MPU that's trillions of operations per second, and supports up to 48 gigs of RAM. It's bringing serious AI power to potentially smaller devices. And notably, people seem happier with their developable tools compared to, say, Qualcomm's, which get criticized for being a bit restrictive.
So this hardware is getting better faster. But why is running models locally becoming such a big deal for, the average user or even businesses?
Several key reasons. First, bypassing content restrictions. Cloud models have safety filters, right? Sometimes they refuse prompts that seem sensitive, even if a writer needs it for realism or a researcher needs specific data. Local models, you're in control. No filters unless you add them.
So more freedom. What else?
Privacy, big one. Uploading proprietary code, sensitive business data, personal information to a cloud AI, it creates a record. Who knows where it could end up? Local models keep all that computation right there, on your machine, under your control.
Right, that makes sense. Especially that idea of cloud models being sort of lobotomized by overly strict safety filters.
Exactly. Running locally means you get the model as intended with its full capabilities, none of the unwanted modifications.
And performance-wise, what are people actually running locally?
Well, you see different models excelling at different things. Llama 3.1405b gets praised for its huge knowledge base, great for trivia or deep factual recall. That Qwen 235b we talked about, noted for being weirdly efficient, fast, like bigger models, but smart due to its 22 billion active parameters.
So people are picking models for specific jobs.
Totally. You hear about folks with, say, a Mac Studio M3 using Kimi-K2 for general stuff, maybe R10528 for science or tech work, and then Q1235B for math or tasks needing that long context window.
Even smaller hardware upgrades make a difference, like going from a 3080 Ti to a 3090 graphics card.
Yeah, people report significant boosts even with those kinds of more budget-friendly upgrades. It shows you don't always need the absolute top-end stuff to get good local LLM performance. Gives you options, depending on your needs and budget.
Fascinating stuff on the hardware and local side. Okay, for our last segment, let's zoom out to the industry itself, the business side. Valuations are, well, there's something else right now. And the fight for talent is intense.
Understatement of the year? Maybe. The numbers are just eye-popping. Perplexity, we mentioned them earlier, reportedly chasing an $18 billion valuation.
On $50 million in revenue.
Stated revenue, yeah. That definitely raises some eyebrows. You hear the word bubble being thrown around quite a bit. How sustainable is that kind of valuation? It's a major question.
Are there examples that seem more grounded?
Well, you've got FAL. They do infrastructure for diffusion models. They just raised $125 million Series C, putting them at $1.5 billion post-money. But they're also reporting $55 million in annual recurring revenue and massive year-over-year growth. So there's more visible business traction there, perhaps.
And DeepSeek stirring things up with profit margin claims.
Yeah. Claiming theoretical margins of like 545% if their V3 model priced like their older R1. That sparked a whole debate about pricing models, cost structures, and whether those kinds of margins are even realistic long term.
It's clear the money's flowing like crazy. But it's not just about cash, it's about the people, right? The talent war.
Oh, absolutely fierce. Mark Zuckerberg reportedly offered Mark Qwen, OpenAI's chief research officer, up to $1 billion to jump ship to Meta.
$1 billion? Seriously?
That's the report. It really highlights that Meta feels its challenge isn't just compute, they're spending billions on GPUs, but maybe a gap in top-tier visionary AI talent.
Is that kind of money even justifiable for one person?
Well, that's the debate, isn't it? In an industry potentially worth trillions, maybe hundreds of millions in equity for someone truly foundational, maybe it makes sense. It shows how incredibly scarce that absolute top-level talent is perceived to be.
And Zuckerberg also tried to acquire Ilya Sutskever's new company, SSI.
Reportedly, yes. But Ilya turned him down, apparently wanting to stay independent. It shows that tension, the desire for independent research versus the colossal resources the tech giants can throw at problems. You need billions for GPUs just to compete at the cutting edge.
It's a tough spot for independent labs. Now, looking at OpenAI's own size, thousands of employees, what does that tell us? Is AI not automating knowledge work as fast as we thought?
It's a really interesting data point. Mid-2024, over 6,400 employees, growing fast. But get this, only about 32% are actually engineers.
Really? So the majority are?
Operations, business development, policy, safety, all sorts of non-engineering roles. And the median tenure is super short, like 0.8 years. Means tons of recent hires.
So even at the heart of AI development, they need a huge human workforce.
It suggests that, yes, while they undoubtedly use advanced AI tools internally, many roles, even technical support or integration roles, aren't fully automated yet. Even for a company with global impact, 6,400 isn't enormous, but it's far from a handful of engineers running everything.
So for you listening, it implies that even as AI gets better, the human skills strategy, creativity, coordination remain critical.
Absolutely. Or it could be a scaling model where AI does automate parts of jobs, but the sheer speed of product expansion and complexity creates new roles elsewhere in the company faster than old ones disappear.
Wow. Okay, what a tour. We've gone from AI conquering elite math problems at the IMO to incredibly efficient new models like Qwen 3, the rise of AI agents that do things, the power moving to local devices, and this just intense industry landscape of huge valuations and talent wars.
It's moving incredibly fast. The boundaries of what AI can do, what we think intelligence is, they're shifting almost daily, it feels like. You're really seeing the future get built block by block.
And for you, our listener, staying on top of this isn't just interesting, it's becoming essential. Being able to grasp these shifts quickly, understanding why an IMO win matters or what efficient models enable, that's becoming a real advantage.
And it leaves us with a big question to ponder, right? If AI just smashed a milestone in math that people thought was maybe decades away, what other impossible human tasks are next? And maybe more importantly, how do we all adapt as these capabilities keep accelerating?